Let's talk about IPEC Goat 2. Now all the clickbait videos have been proved wrong. And here you will get a real analysis by somebody with a brain cell. We've just had the Super Bowl, and it was the Patriots against the Seahawks, the Seattle Seahawks. And the Seattle Seahawks won. Now, 11 years ago, in 2015, you had Katy Perry doing the halftime show in Phoenix, where she was on an island which was like La Palma, with a step pyramid. She had a dress which looked like the garments of the Temple of Solomon. And you had these sharks, and we have these sharks in IPEC Goat 2. And this is connected to La Palma. La Palma is going to be the answer to 9/11. It is a ritual dedicated to ISIS. You have to understand what the Freemasons are. The Freemasons come from the Hermetic, Gnostic traditions. They believe in duality. They practice Satanism, and then they slay the serpent. You have that with the symbol of St. Michael, which is worshipped by a country in the Middle East also. And so St. Michael is going to slay the serpent. America will be slayed. Donald Trump is the Antichrist figure, and he's playing the role of Julius Caesar. So 11 years ago we had Katy Perry, and we had the exact same teams. 11 years ago, remember, 11, a very important number in Freemasonry. It represents the twins, the twin columns. And this ceremony was in Phoenix. And she rode a lion of Judah, which represented the Seal of Solomon. And she represented the phoenix, the bird. And what they were showing you is that this is about the creation of a new age. And this all makes sense if you look at the predictive programming. This is a Masonic construct. Now let's look at IPEC Goat 2. Because we will see here that we have the Super Bowl. Now we have a Ring of Fire eclipse. Now, on February the 17th, we have a ring fire eclipse. This seems to be March. This seems to be the shark tail. So he seems disappointed here. This seems to be Trump. Trump is the new guy with mustache. This is guy with mustache. You have him doing the Trump pose. The death of guy with mustache was announced on May 1st. The death of Bin Laden, who was buried at sea, was announced on May 1st. Both appear in this program. The Bavarian Illuminati was created in 1776, May 1st. May Day. You had the Mayflower. It sailed to America. It anchored on 11/11. We have the anniversary of America. We had the Great American Eclipse in 2017. And in 2017, you had the creation of Freemasonry on Midsummer's Night Dream, Shakespeare. You have Donald Trump, the father of the William Shakespeare, Julius Caesar. He wants to change America into a dictatorship. Remember, America is based on ancient Rome, its constitution. It is a republic. And so the first man to get the William Shakespeare was called William Shakespeare. The Tsar, which means Caesar, was Nadim Zahawi, MP for Shakespeare, Stratford-upon-Avon. You shake it before you spear it. The Shakespeare was created in England, Britannia, Britney Spears. Okay? Britannia is Athena. She holds a spear, Britannia, with the three. The synthesis of the dialectic, the three, the Trinity. Now it's based on Athena, and Athena was called Athena Isis. The Greeks split up Isis into different goddesses, the main ones being Athena and Artemis. So, Athena shakes the spear of wisdom. SS, Shakespeare had a hyphen, duality. Out of the duality, man becomes enlightened, therefore you get a trinity, and man is born again in the new age. He is enlightened, the sun. Now, so we have him here. Now this is connected to the lunar eclipse, blood moon, March 3rd, 3/3. Now before that time, on the 28th of February, we're going to have the alignment of planets, the third one in about 6 years. So this is the last alignment of planets. It's very important. Remember, at the start we have snowflakes next to the map of America, but it symbolizes that it is the Winter Olympics. Now as she rolls the apple, you have La Palma underneath the apple. This channel spotted it first. This channel. No other channel spotted it first, okay? This channel. This is Lewis Carroll, who was the writer of Alice in Wonderland. You have the rabbit. Anybody telling you to follow the rabbit is a shill. The rabbit symbolizes Freemasonry. It symbolizes Alice in Wonderland. And the white rabbit symbolizes opium, which was taken by Lewis Carroll and his associates, which were part of a ring, okay, like Epstein, which was connected to the British Prime Minister, as we see today. This is about the release of the Epstein files, and it is about the slaying of the serpent. And all these events are about creating a new age, and it is all a construct. So the white rabbit also represents Ishtar, which is Isis. The white rabbit is connected to Diaries of an Opium Eater. Okay, it symbolises opium, and it symbolises these third eye rituals which the Freemasons are into. And through the third eye, they believe they are speaking to other entities through the third eye. And this is how man has got his secret knowledge, through the third eye. This is why you had a comet which was called Third Eye Atlas. And Avi Loeb said it was an extraterrestrial spacecraft. Avi Loeb from Israel. Remember, you had Steven Spielberg. He made a film called Encounters of the Third Kind. He made E.T. And E.T. points to the boy's pineal gland and says, I'll be right there. The poster is based on Michelangelo, Adam, giving life to Adam. And the Michelangelo is based on a brain, God is based on a brain, and the arm is symbolic of the pineal gland. And then when E.T. says goodbye to the boy, E.T. goes into a spaceship with sunflowers, which is a symbol of spiritual enlightenment, and E.T. is followed by the boy's dog. And the boy's dog comes back to the dog, and what the dog represents is Isis, illumination. This idea, this alchemical idea of duality and synthesis and enlightenment. Your secret knowledge. So, what's interesting is that in August the 2nd, 2027, we have a total solar eclipse, the longest of the century, in 2027, and it is over the Great Pyramids. And so we can see the connection between the Great American Eclipse of 2017, the anniversary of Freemasonry, and this eclipse in Egypt, which is 10 years later, in 2027, which will be over the Great Pyramids, as we have in IPEC 2 here at the end. You seem to have the eclipse on his beard, here. And you have the great work achieved with the pyramid. This is about man being born in the new age. His pineal gland has been released from the materialist way society is going. And then you have the old crone, which is Isis. She has become fertile again. The obelisk. And it's all connected to Prince William becoming king. And here, when he comes out of the church, you have a little tsunami and an earthquake. When he comes out of the church. And it's saying that there's going to be a new covenant with God. And this is all about creating a new age. And I think in this new age, you will have transhumanism. So they want a religion which is more acceptable to transhumanism. So here we have the phoenix being reborn. We have Quetzalcoatl. Now, is born here. Now the story of Quetzalcoatl is that he had a twin brother called Xolotl, who was headed as a dog. Again, we have the dog star, Isis. And you have Quetzalcoatl, who is a bird. The original planet which they worshipped was Venus. Now, in ancient Greece, Athena Isis, her planet was Venus. So this is what it is that you have the sun, you have the moon is connected with Isis. And you have the brightest star, which is Sirius, which is the dog star, which is connected to Isis, which is Lucifer. Then you have the brightest planet, which is Venus, the morning star, which is Lucifer, which is also Isis. So in Aztec mythology, you had the same idea of duality with the twins. You will find this again and again in history, with brothers like Romulus and Remus, who were twins. They were brought up by a she-wolf, who is the dog star, Isis, Canis. So you have this in IPEC 2, you have the theme of duality. And then they slay the demonic serpent, and then you get enlightenment, and then a new man is born in the new age. You have it here, where this is the twin of Quetzalcoatl, who was portrayed as a dog, and then who is a dog, and then turns into a phoenix, and then you have the new age, and then the Christ figure is born. Illumination. Here you have a tsunami, and the Christ figure is born, the Christ consciousness, which all the new ages are promoting. This film is created by Freemasons. So we have the shark on the board here, Katy Perry. So let's go back to the months here, and I'll show you how this is the year, because Trump invaded Venezuela on a yin and yang date, when the sun was closest to the earth and the moon was closest to the earth, and we had a full moon, a super moon, the largest moon of the year. So you had a 3-3 date in January. January was established by Julius Caesar. Remember, Trump got shot in the ear on the birthday of Julius Caesar. He's playing the role of Julius Caesar. He will be assassinated, going by the script. And after this event of La Palma underneath the apple, we will have World War III with China. So let's look at the eclipses, because we have this eclipse in Egypt, which I believe this is what it's all about, building up to this eclipse, which is over the Great Pyramids in 2027, the longest of the century. We have the eclipse in Spain this year, August 12th. And this eclipse ends in Palma de Mallorca. Palma, La Palma, okay? But this is in another place, Mallorca, not the Canary Islands. It takes us to this, The Economist magazine 2017, which was made the same year as the Great American Eclipse. It was made on the 300th anniversary of Freemasonry. Here we are going to have 3 alignments. And one of them, the second one, was on Midsummer's Night Dream, Shakespeare. The last one, the third one, the one that's important to Freemasonry, remember, third 3 degrees, you have a split in America. So the date to look out for is February the 28th and March the 3rd, and also February the 17th, because there's a ring eclipse. Here is Trump. He seems to be on top of Iceland. It seems like Trump will invade Iceland on March the 3rd. They control everything. This is what it shows you here. Now, this is the tower. If you squint your eyes, it looks like a volcano. You have the communists, and you have the Christian, and you have the thesis of Martin Luther. Remember, the thesis of Martin Luther. Remember, we had the reconciliation with King Charles and Pope Leo. And it was Martin Luther who wrote a letter to Leo, Pope Leo, in his time. And this is about the reconciliation. The first time a Pope and King has met since Henry VIII. 88HH. The Pope died 88. Okay? So look out for the alignment, the third alignment, on February the 28th. Now, if we look at the eclipses, the 3 main eclipses in America, they create a Pythagorean triangle. The Pythagorean triangle is connected to Freemasonry and geometry, and it is connected to this idea of the birth of the star child, which is connected to William. William's mother is Dinah. All her memorials were dedicated to Isis. Her perfume was called Isis, and you have a flower on the perfume cover which symbolises the Rosicrucians, the Rose Cross. Her family, the Spencers, were connected to the Rosicrucians. Her family, the Spencers, were blood related to the Washingtons. And you have the monument of George Washington, and it is an obelisk to Osiris. Remember, Diana was sacrificed, and William was born on the solstice. And it's all connected to William Shakespeare and William becoming king, because you have the story of Macbeth. And Kate Middleton is related to Thomas Middleton, who was one of the writers of Macbeth, who wrote a previous play called The Witches. And the Shakespeare was written by the editors with John Dee and Francis Bacon. And so let's play this clip of the star child being born, the New Age. What it's about is called the New Age. The New Age.
And, for example, the upright part of a right triangle symbolizes Baal. The horizontal part of the right triangle symbolizes the female, who is, of course, prostrate and passive. And the hypotenuse, which connects the two, that symbolizes the divine child that the Baal and the goddess create. Baal and Astarte, Isis and Osiris, pick the name, they're all the same thing. They're trying to evoke the trinity, the pagan trinity of Baal, or Osiris, and Isis, and Horus.
The squared elements of this Pythagorean trinity resemble the letter Y. In his book, David Ovison suggests that Washington, D.C. was intentionally placed at the split of the Potomac.
So, there you have the symbolism, and you have that triangle in America, in the floor plan of Washington, D.C. And we've had the eclipses. This is all connected to creating a New Age. The Freemasons had a magazine called The 33rd Degree, and its previous title was called The New Age. They are doing these events to create a New Age. They are behind it all. They are Lucifer worshippers. Now we have the Winter Olympics, and we have 2 lights. Okay, one is an upside down pentagram with an all-seeing eye, and the other one is another light. We have 2 lights, and they symbolise duality. And they say they are based on the designs of Leonardo da Vinci, jewel cauldrons. Now Leonardo da Vinci appears on the 2019 cover with the Vitruvian Man. Here you have what holds a palm. The palm in the middle has a spear, a Shakespeare. It creates new life. You shake a stick to get the dates from the palm.